land is really very flat. Drying after harvesting is very easy in Turkey because, as I told you, the too much rain during the growing exists and the too much sun exists during the harvesting in general. We had some efforts against the very bad weather conditions, especially in the eastern Black Sea region, for artificial drying, but there is not too much demand for artificial drying because Turkish hazelnuts on the tree has got around 12–14% of humidity, and after 3 or 4 days of drying under the sunshine, it becomes 5.55 or 6% humidity, which is the desired level of humidity for hazelnuts. For instance, in Georgia, the hazelnuts have got around 22–3% of humidity, and it is impossible to make drying under sunshine. So 100% of the hazelnuts are artificially dried. The drying is very funny in Turkey because after this harvesting period, the families come together and the growers celebrate the bounty of Mother Nature. It's really a very sacred type of celebration for Turkish families. So therefore they have fun about that. On the western Black Sea region, you can see that there is a lot of land, therefore the drying can be done everywhere. On the eastern region, it's sometimes much more difficult because of the sharpness of the steep slopes. Therefore, on the roads, on every flat that is possible, you can see that there is a hazelnut bulk for drying. Coming to the nutritional facts of hazelnuts, it's one of the healthy nut in the world because it contains really a great amount of fats, protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, especially vitamin E, minerals, diabetic fibers, antioxidant phenolics. So for human consumption, just like in many nuts, hazelnut is very popular as well. The nutritional properties makes a good source of nutrition in the food sector. The energy level is really very, very high because it contains around 58% to 67% of fat. Therefore, it has a very good source of energy. Even in the Turkish army, there is a good reserve of hazelnuts against any unwanted situation for the nutrition of the soldiers. Especially the fatty acid profile of hazelnut is very good. The mono and polyunsaturated fat acids are involved in hazelnuts. 83% of oleic and around 9% of linoleic acid, which are unsaturated fatty acid, makes hazelnuts very nutritional and positive. Especially, it has positive effect in controlling the blood lipid levels very effectively. It has positive effects to the coronary heart diseases and low blood pressure. It helps to balance the total cholesterol and also lower LDL, which is low density lipoprotein, and also increases the high density lipoprotein, which are very important for blood. And also, according to researchers, we have seen that the reduction of blood triglyceride value can be done by the help of the elements in the hazelnuts. When we look at the vitamins, the hazelnut is the second best source of vitamin E after the vegetable oils. This is the vitamin E is a potential inhibitor for cancer and atherosclerosis, which is a blood vessel disease. Because of the antioxidant properties of hazelnut, it helps reduce the coronary heart diseases, cancers, and similar diseases. The daily consumption of the hazelnut, around 25 to 30 grams, which is a full handful amount, meets 100% of the vitamin E requirement of the human body. It is approved by FDA as well that it helps preventing the growth of tumors and stimulation of the diseases just like cancer of colon, breast, and prostate. Hazelnuts are also good sources of minerals, especially potassium. It's a very high. Phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium, it's really very rich. So these minerals helps us to balance the blood pressure, and also it is important for the bone development as well. It has an enriched mineral content. There is an ORACS course which gives the information about how antioxidant substance, food is. This ORAC is oxygen radical absorbance capacity. When we look at the ORAC values, we see that with the pecans, walnuts, hazelnuts is the third greatest antioxidant, and all these nuts are called superfoods because of their positive effects. The hazelnut diseases observed in Turkey, it is observed, but we don't observe so much. I will explain why. There are theoretically 6 different diseases, just like bacterial blight, poverty mildew, nectaria cancer, root fungus, different types, and hazelnut, apple mosaic, larvus, this kind of diseases. But as I explained before, the hazelnut trees in Turkey are shrub type of hazelnuts. So the growers are used to have some suckers from the side and leave them for 5 to 6 years to grow. And they are cutting every 10 or 12 years the old ones or the diseased ones. So it is done by the growers, but it is just like a natural selection. So every 10 years, the Turkish hazelnut trees actually are renewing. Therefore, there is no possibility to have a steady problem, a disease in Turkey. Unlike, for instance, trunk type of trees in United States, hazelnuts created Eastern filbert blight disease, and the US growers suffered a lot because they have to treat the tree. We don't treat the tree, we cut it and we give a chance for new ones. So it makes our lives easier and your lives easier as consumers as well. In Turkey, there is another problem created by an insect called green shield bug. This insect, what it does, they are out of the egg. They go to the hazelnut trees and bite the flowers, not the hazelnuts, but bite the flowers. The bites to the flowers after a while creates a bad shape. Mostly the hazelnut is trying to cover it, and you cannot see it, and you can only see it when you cut and you have the cut test, only you can see. But sometimes, as you can see in this picture, you may have also big bites that can be seen. Actually, this is just a visual effect. When I started hazelnut business, I made many research on the chemical properties, biological properties of these bites. I have seen that there is no difference between the normal hazelnuts, but as a visual, we have to collect all of them. The Ministry of Agriculture in Turkey is very strict in the usage of pesticides and insecticides, because in the 2 decades ago we suffered a lot because of the excessive usage of insecticides and pesticides. So the Ministry of Agriculture is very, very strict for the usage in the agriculture. You have to prove that you have the problem, and you have to prove where you buy the insecticide, the pesticide, and how you use it. There is a strict traceability system. You cannot use excess. This is not only for the hazelnut, for all agricultural product. We are a huge export to Russia for vegetables and etc. So therefore, it is not allowed to use the insecticides, but a mesural or electron type of insecticide can be used with a special permission. So I want to go a little bit more visual issues. Hazel processing, how we do it in our plant. There are 4 critical items for hazelnut production. The first one is the selection of the right raw material for each customer and for each specification of each customer. This is the most critical item. The second one is the complete removal of foreign materials. The third one is, of course, the microbiology. It should be 100% safe for microbiology. The fourth crucial item is any cross-contamination against allergen. That should definitely be under control. Therefore, we worked hard during my last 8 years on these issues significantly. When I start from the last part, the cross-contamination from the allergens, of course, the bags are used new. We don't allow to use reused hazelnuts. We have special kits against possible allergens, just like other nuts. We are controlling also the bags, the products, the raw materials, especially in the paste. We are controlling against peanut, other allergens, every single allergen, so that we are 100% sure that we deliver to our customers is free of any other allergens. And when I go to the first one, the selection of the right raw material is critical. We have 2 types of production. One, we crack the in-shell hazelnut and we process it. And the second one, we can buy from our approved and 2 monthly audited suppliers in the bags, which are called jute bags. As you can see in this video, it's a video, it has holes on each one and labels on each pallet, because the sampling in this business is really very important. The EU regulation says that you have to have a composite sample of 30 kilograms, but according to our statistics in our company, we have seen that if we take a composite sample of 60 kilograms, which is above the EU limits, represent best the characteristics of the raw material. And we label it, and then as soon as it is approved, we give special traceability number, and we are tracing from the raw material to the end user, end product, and also from end product back to the raw materials. This is the crucial management type that we have to achieve, and we achieved. We used, as John stated, laser technology. We are working very closely with our partners, technology partners, because it can work in some of the product, but because of the unique properties of hazelnuts, it doesn't work in hazelnuts sometimes. That has been the key factor to choose the right technology for our hazelnut production, and it enables our growth. I'd like to briefly explain this funny laser technology. The hazelnuts are going down. There are 2 types of source that sends laser beam to the product. One is infrared laser, the second one is red laser, the third one is blue or green laser. From 2 sides, it sends the laser beams. When it reaches the product, it creates a reflection. it sends back to the receivers, to these guys. These guys prepares reports for the decision maker and sends 2 reports to the decision maker. The decision maker takes the 2 reports and the standards, looks whether it is accepted or not. If it understands that it is a hazelnut, it gives the visa, okay my friend, you can go. If it is a shell, or a metal, or a stone, or even glass, it understands that it is not proper. It cannot give the visa. It says, my friend, I'm sorry, this time you have to go out. And all of these are done in 3 milliseconds. We reached a production capacity of 8 metric tons per hour with this issue. Not only the foreign materials, this procedure applies also to rotten and molded levels, molded hazelnuts, dark color hazelnuts, and everything. How we do it? As you can see, it is fed through vibrators to the machine. This is really it has a very high accuracy. It reaches from 70% to 99% of accuracy. It removes 99% of the defects. Therefore, we installed 2 lasers. The first one removes 99% of the defects. The second one removes the 99% of the remaining 1%. Therefore, 99.99% of the defects, as you can see, are removed. It's easy to buy these machines, but it is difficult to operate them to have a high efficiency. You have to very strictly control what rejects are done, what type of defects exist, very quick calibration, strict cleaning, so it is important. We have different